So whenever I get this corner and this edge, how I pretty much always pair it up is by putting them over here and then taking the edge out. Now there is another good way that for personal preference I pretty much never use, and that is by putting them here and doing this. But it really helps to know both of these ways because sometimes it can help you with look ahead. So let's suppose I'm in this situation, I'm about to pair up these two, and I have these two back here, and I know it's the same case I just talked about. So here I pair these up, and I'm about to insert with LU to L prime, and I know that that actually pairs these up. So if I didn't know that, I'd have to take another second to recognize here before I can do the insertion. Now, of course, this is a very, very specific example. What are the chances inserting one actually pairs up your next one? It's not very likely, but you can use this in more situations. Okay, now we're in the same situation, but the edge is flipped, and I do know that the edge needs to not be flipped for this case to work. So when I insert, I know that I'm going to get the opposite of this case, which means I have to pair them together. So even though doing this is not something I would ever do because it doesn't ever actually pair anything together, I do know that if this edge was flipped, it would be good. It would be set up, but it's not. So I immediately know I cannot insert this yet. I need to fix it. Now this one's a little bit different, but it follows the same idea. So I have this corner and this edge this time, and I'm about to insert this one. So I do know that in order to pair these, I'm going to need the edge right here. But obviously that doesn't insert the pair I just talked about. So as I insert this pair, I know that the edge comes over here. So by knowing how these pair, and by knowing where the edge goes, I can immediately fix that. So here I can immediately change it so that the corner and the edge get closer together like that. Or I can know the edge needs to go around this way, so I just go here and move the edge over here, and then I can immediately insert. And then as I'm about to insert here, I have this one, and I do know that for this case, I need to get it over here, but that's not what's happening. Instead, the edge is coming all the way over here. So when I insert, I do know that these need to be pushed together, so I can just put them here and push them together. So the reason this concept is really important is because when I insert this, I'm not re-recognizing what case I have. And I'm not just predicting that the edge is going to end up over here. I'm also using my recognition of the next case in order to help me know intuitively what I need to do next. Instead of just knowing the edges here and just knowing the orientation of the corner, I also know if I need to put them together or move them like that and so on. I like to call this having the corner receive an edge. It just may not be receiving the edge to the right location, and it's up to you to fix it afterwards. So in this next example, I want you guys to try it and see if it makes sense. So here I have a pair, I'm about to insert it over here, but there's some other pair we're gonna be looking at as well. Now don't actually imagine this go in, don't imagine any pieces moving, just recognize what you already see and determine where the edge should go. So this pair, as we insert it, then we want to solve this pair. So again, don't actually imagine this go in. Think about where do we want this edge? The first move is going to be R. Where do we want this edge to go afterwards in order for this to get paired? We want this one to go over here because that is how you make this pair. Okay, if you're already lost at this point, you should probably watch the advanced F2L tutorial, but this is assuming you already know that stuff. So as we insert, the problem is the edge goes back there. Without even looking at this, we should know that we want the edge over here. So we don't need to do any further recognition. All we have to do is start putting the edge over here. And then that pairs it up. So again, I just want to emphasize why this is important, because you recognize at this step, not at this step. Because once you're recognizing at this step, it's a little bit too late because you're not doing any moves right now. But if you're about to recognize at this step, that's perfect because you're still doing moves. So you have time to do recognition without pausing. Now I'll just show two more examples. So here we have this pair we're about to insert. And as we insert, we have this one as well. Can you see what we should do afterwards? So this is one of those simpler cases where when you think about how this should pair up, the moves we're about to do actually does pair it up. So we kind of just go straight into the next pair. All right, now we have the same pair as before, but now we have this case. What should we do next? Remember, we're not trying to visualize where this edge goes, we're trying to visualize where it should go. And what you should do to pair this up is that. So when we insert this, we know that the edge went to the wrong spot, so we want to put the edge over there. So the next step would be to pair them up like that. If you're just starting to get into advanced F2L or look ahead, then I have videos here on the end screen. And if this video felt too advanced for you, that's okay. Maybe start looking for this in your solves, and if you do find it once in a while, stop and see if you can figure it out. Because in the long run, it really helps. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.